Welcome to Jumpers for Goalposts, your weekly non-league programme for the Midlands. We're here at Marston Road, the home of Stafford Rangers. More on Rangers later. We're going to start with the FA Cup from last weekend. Mixed results for our sides, but let's see the goals from Eastleigh versus Hereford. A great win there for the Bulls, taking a scalp from two leagues above them, and what a tie they have in round one. At home to AFC Telford United. 5,000 gate at Edgar Street should be an absolute cracker. On to the Everstick Premier Division. Rushall Olympic with chairman John Allen in charge temporarily. They have a new manager, I'll talk about in a minute. Travelled to Mickleover Sports. Here are the highlights. Yes, John Allen in charge there, getting a point at Mickleover Sports. And this week, Rushall appointed Liam MacDonald as manager. He's recently left his post from, now where did he leave? Where did he leave? Redditch? I can't remember. He's been here, there and everywhere. Redditch, Hensford. He left Solihull, that's who he left, but he's now in charge at Rushall Olympic. Here at Marston Road, Stafford Rangers played Ashton United. Here is the all-important goal.
No one in the box.
A great win there for Stafford Rangers, albeit a bit nervy. Altrincham took over at the top of the league. They had a 3-0 win over Halsall in town. I've been joined by Alan G, who's the fans representative on the board at Stafford Rangers. I think that's still your title, official title, isn't it, Al?
Non-executive, yeah.
Well, there you go. First of all, let's talk about that win for Rangers. Few mixed results of late, but starting to look upwards rather than down.
That made it 3 wins and a draw in the last 4, so the league form's turning and looking good in spells. Just need to be a bit more consistent. And
what is the feeling around the place? I mean, I know this place extremely well. I know what the fans can be like. What's the feeling in terms of how the team are actually doing this year?
Well, like I say, it's been a bit indifferent. We had a few weeks out because of being in the FA Cup run and going the furthest we've been for 10 years or so. But then, you miss a few league games, they fall behind and you've got to pick up the points. So we're now putting a run together to hopefully get us back up there.
Now, one of the things we want to talk about, and the main reason for us coming to Marston Road today and bringing the wonderful wet weather with us, is to talk about the shed end, or the lack of a shed end.
Exactly.
There's been a campaign and there's been an awful lot of work that has taken place. Do you want to bring us up to speed on the work that's been done, what the plans are, and really where you need to take it now to actually get a cover on that end?
Pleasure. 2006 the old shed end went, and that was like the beating heart for the fans really behind the goal that you can see behind us here, which is a vast terrace. And
it'd be rather damp on a day like today, wouldn't it?
It is at the moment, yeah. And we had a 2,000-seater temporary structure in there, which cost us a lot of money.
And that was to enable Rangers to go into the conference, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, that was a criteria. That cost us a lot of money, and successive relegations cost us. We had to have that taken down. And the fans again pulled together and raised 50 grand to pay off the debt. And time has gone on. Graham Mitchell started with the idea of us bringing our own stand back, and the realistic costs of built. So we're now looking at somewhere 60 to 70 grand to get something built. So a fundraising campaign's been ongoing now. All the planning permission has actually been gone through, and we're 3 years into this campaign now. We're generating a lot of interest. We've got about 25,000. We've got to get all the groundworks before the steelwork starts, but we're really hoping the ball's starting to gather momentum now.
It's fair to say that we talk, we visit a lot of clubs, we talk about investments needed for this and investments needed for that, but the bulk of the work has been done by a group of Rangers supporters, isn't it? This has been very much supporter-led, not club-led.
Exactly. The majority of the work has been done by 4 of us for a big period of this time. A lot of technical expertise in the background, as well as some planning knowledge, and we've stuck at it. Thousands of messages between us, over thousands of collective hours, and a passion for the club, and we really want to get this done and generate interest and bring people through.
And what do you think building, sticking a roof on a terrace, which is bottom line, that's what it is, but creating a shed, what are the huge advantages for a club like this, and for local people watching football here in Stafford?
I think you've got to look at criteria, modern day world really, and you've got to look at spectator comfort. Look at it today. It's absolutely pouring down, and
I'm used to sat in the press box at the back of that stand. That never gets wet up there.
Yeah. So we've got the seats here, we've got the cover over that side, but all that other cover has gone. The segregation means that we're split part of the way down that covered side, so the home fans only get so much. Creating an atmosphere underneath a big cover at that end would be benefit threefold really.
And do you think this will, as part of the criteria for promotion, should Rangers get into a playoff position this year in the Evistic Prem? You know, obviously they'll be looking to gain promotion into National North, and potentially beyond. And we know the ground criteria raises exponentially. Some would say, it's not realistic. Yeah. But having a cover there, that would help in any promotion.
Yes. There are grants you can look at, and you can get these grants if it's part of your criteria for getting promotion. We're not quite at that position at the moment, but the design we've got is future-proofed, so we're going by the Green Guide. Getting a cover on is one thing, but then we've also got plans in place to get it concrete terraced, and that would increase the capacity of that end by maybe 3 or 4. So you're looking far into the future there, but a cup run or a major sponsor to come forward, please.
Well, I was actually
very handy.
I was actually going to say that, as a group of supporters who've worked so hard in getting it as far as you have, and I mean, I've known you for many, many years, and I know how passionate you are about getting the shed end back. What are you looking for? What sort of assistance are you looking for? Your chance, call out to people out there who may be watching, who want to come forward and sponsor the shed. There are lots of opportunities there, aren't there?
Yeah. There are some really big-hearted people out there. One person came forward, wishes to remain anonymous, and they have done. £10,000 from one person. Absolutely brilliant. But if we had 3 or 4 companies doing that, we'd start the job. We'd get all the steelwork bought, and we'd start it, even if we got a centre section done, to generate interest to bring other people in. We'd get the ball rolling.
And realistically, timeframes, what? We talk about this, what are the realistic aims and ambitions, but what do you think the realistic timeframe is for, considering how long you've been working on the project now, what would you like to see happen?
Well, up until a few days ago, we actually had a meeting planned for tonight, which has fallen through because of people's availability. But following that, we could have had the groundwork start in 2 weeks' time, and then we would have had all the concrete bases in, ready to put the steelwork on top of, if we'd got the money for the steelwork. And that's the one thing that's holding us back at the moment. We've got enough money to get all the groundworks in, whole 72 metres worth of it, but it's the money for the steel and having a big name across it.
So if anybody wants to get in touch, how is the best way of getting in touch with you?
We're on Twitter at SRFC Shedend. We've got a website, which is the shedendproject.org, or we've got an SRFC ground development page on Facebook.
So if anybody out there wants to help Stafford Rangers and this dedicated band of supporters in getting the shed end, please get in touch, and I'm sure Alan and Mitch and the rest of the team would snap your hands off.
Definitely. Come forward, please.
Right, we'll talk to Al again a little bit later when we look forward to the Evistic Prem. But I just want to touch on the Evistic South in terms of what happened last weekend. And leaders Cleethorpes slipped up at Newcastle Town. I did actually mention it was going to be a tough game for them. Never an easy place to go, Line Park. And Cleethorpes slipped up there. It means that Baseford have taken over at the top of the table. And from my point of view, 2 sides recently promoted from Step 5, again showing the benefit of Step 5. On to the Total Motion Midland Football League. I know I'm going to get it right every week. The Total Motion Midland Football League. What a week in the Premier Division. Leaders Coleshill Town, 4-2 up at home to Stourport Swifts, and managed to lose 5-4. Great result for Swifts there. This gave Bromsgrove Sporting the chance to close the gap. Here are the highlights from their game at Heanor Town. Great result there for Sporting. Robbie Bunn with yet another goal. It means Sporting are now just 1 point behind Coleshill. Both in action at this weekend. Wait until you hear what games they have later on in the show. Worcester City had a great chance of closing the gap. They took on South Normanton Athletic at the Victoria Ground. Here are the goals.
Get round him! Oh, it's on, hits it! Okay, over! Good lad! First time!
Goal scorer from Worcester in the 11th minute, number 11, Alex Huntington.
Yeah.
Half-time at the Victoria Ground. Score Worcester City 1, South Northampton Athletic 0. Victoria round, the final score, Worcester City 1, South.
And there'll be more goals from the Midland Football League Premier Division later on in the show. In Division 1 of the MFL last week, as usual, I stick my neck out which games to go to. I promised you goals between Hinckley and Heath Hayes. Hopefully you're not too disappointed. A 4-4 draw there, and everyone that I've spoken to was at that game said what a game it was too. Studley go back to the top after Walsall Wood surprisingly were held to a goalless draw at Nuneaton Griff. Great result for Griff. Studley back on top. Atherstone Town are 6 points off Studley. Here are their highlights from the game against Perthshire Town. Commentary and coverage courtesy of Mark Brooks.
It's a lovely kick from the mouse right into the path of Baxter, and look how Baxter took that down. Absolutely brilliant. Into Mitch Thompson. Good movement from Mitch. Can he get across it? Oh, he's hit the bar. Oh, what a great headers move. Mitch Thompson, his first start back. Quinn. Baxter now loses it. And it's long ball towards Butterworth. He's one-on-one against Mouse. It's a great chance. And they've scored. Well, Pershore take a shot leader here at the Snake Pit. 1-0. Corner. Can the Edders find this equaliser? Scott Goodby's come up. Oh, it comes to Rowe. And it's a penalty. Well, there you go. Well, I didn't quite see the incident, but we're not going to argue. Here we go. Okay, we got Luke Shorthouse with the penalty. It's a super one right in the corner. And it's now 1-1. And the Adder fans are celebrating. George and Kerry, look, and Ian and Thingamajig. Good ball into Bloomer. Bloomer, oh, he's unlucky. Well, Bloomer using his loaf and having a shot on goal. FC, Luke Shorthouse wins the header. Mitch Thompson is through. Oh, he's just took it too early, and well, it was a good move. Okay, we got Rowe with the throw-in towards Mitch Thompson. Mitch Thompson, lovely little header down to Quinn. Still. Oh, what a goal from Ryan Quinn! He comes from behind. Now we're gonna win. The scorer for others is Ryan Quinn. Not Jack Quinn, but definitely Ryan. What a goal. Back post. Oh, comes back out. It's Baxter. Now it's Danny Harris. Now it's Baxter. Oh, that was a penalty. Yes, it's a pen. Yes, the refs give it. Yes, he did catch Danny Harris. And good refereeing, I have to say. Excellent refereeing. Okay, it's Luke Shorthouse with his second penalty. Oh, it's a great one. A save. What a superb save. And Wilcox, well, fair play to him. The throw. Oh, good one too with Miller. Shorthouse still. Oh, and wide by Quinn. Oh, it was a good chance. Well worked by Miller and Shorthouse. Unlucky. Shorthouse, he gets flick on. It's Alan Miller. Oh, it's a good save. Can Miller still finish it? Oh, it's a corner. And it's Butterworth on the break for Perthshire. Oh, it's coming to Morton. And wide. Oh, what a save. Oh, dear. Well, Mousey did well there. Still Captain Willow. Oh, brilliant by Captain Willow. Oh, it's brilliant. It's Alan Miller. Oh, yes! Miller's back. It's 3-1. That should be game over. Absolutely superb from Captain Willow.
Into Division 2 of the Midland Football League. I went to the game at the Glades Soccer Centre in Solihull to see Smithwood Firs in third place take on Hampton, who were in second. What a game it was. And it was a case of, right, your turn to attack now, end-to-end stuff, chances being missed, good saves by the keepers. Hampton ran out 2-1 winners, and they really pushing at the top of the table. A good side, Hampton, very, very impressed. Montpellier were the big winners in the week. 6-1 over Barnt Green Spartak. Another hat-trick for Stuart Hendry. 18 goals now for Hendry in Division 2. He's after another golden boot after doing exactly the same last year in Division 3. Talking of Division 3, Bartistry missed out on the chance of taking over top spot. Surprisingly beaten 4-1 at home by AFC Solihull. That's 2 wins on the trot now for Solihull, moving up the table. This gave FC Stratford a chance of closing the gap. They were away at bottom club Castlevale Town. Here are the goals. Great win there for FC Stratford. Unfortunately for them, they lost in midweek. They were playing in the Smedley Crook Memorial Charity Cup and they lost 4-2 at home to Bewdley Town from the West Midland Regional League. And with some sort of planning, on to the West Midland League. Their Premier Division, Wolves Sporting Community, bounced back from their defeat last week. 8-0 win at Bilston Town. Tom Hill with a hat-trick for Wolves. They're still well clear at the top of the table. Tividale won 7-0 at Wellyhams. Wellyhams had a change in management. Wellington Amateurs, if you want, but everybody knows them as Wellyhams. changing management during the week. Hopefully that will see better time for the side in Wellington. Wolves Casuals, big win for them, 5-2 at Cradley Town. And last week we were at Wentzfield, really well looked after at the Cottage. They drew 2-2 with Bewdley Town. In Division 1 of the West Midlands League leaders, Team Dudley were beaten at Wem Town. We talked about that as one of the potential games of the week. No one would have anticipated a 4-0 win for Wem. Darlaston Town, still unbeaten. They had a good win last weekend. And Wren's Nest were struggling down the bottom of the table. They've had 2 wins in the week and they're starting to move up that table. At the moment, Willenhall Town are rock bottom of Division 1. And in Division 2, Wolverhampton United, or you can say Wolverhampton United 8, Market Drayton Town Reserves 0. Great win for Wolves United. They're still pushing towards the top of the table. Into the East Midland Counties League. Last week, the game I highlighted finished Dunkirk 2, Gedling Miners Welfare 5. Jack Jepson with a hat-trick. Nice to know I'm getting some of these games to go to right. Blaby and Whetstone Athletic have taken over at the top. They had a good 5-1 win in midweek over Radcliffe Olympic. On to this weekend now, and I'm going to start with the biggest fixtures as far as I'm concerned, and probably the big competition for most of our clubs. It's the FA Vars, and we're now into the first round proper. Some cracking ties, and you can look down that list of fixtures, and every one of those ties has got something to attract it. I've picked out 3. Brockton at home to Wentzfield, Midland Division, MFL Division 1 against West Midland League Premier. Both sides like to play football, keep the ball on the deck. They're going to be playing on a carpet of a pitch at Siltmore Lane. Promises to be a really good one. AFC Wolverinians take on Leicester Nirvana. Now Leicester are top of the UCL, having a great start to the season. Wolves still doing remarkably well in the Midland Premier Division. That could go either way. Should be another good game at the CKW Stadium. And Wolves Sporting against Staveley Miners Welfare. I have a sneaking suspicion Wolves Sporting are going to go a long way in this year's Vars. They're at home at Hazel Lane. I expect Wolves Sporting to go through, but that one should be a really good game to watch, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of goals in there. Into the Everstick Premier Division, and Hensford Town face the long old journey to Whitby. Great place to go. Fish and chips par excellence on the harbour, and if it's windy, my, is it windy. Let's see how they got on last weekend at home to AFC Workington. Good one.
Number 4 minutes added on time, 4 minutes added on time.
Good morning.
We're here at Marston Road on a horrible evening. Rangers travel to Matlock Town, bring in Alan G again. Nice place to visit for the supporters.
Yeah.
Never an easy place to go as a team, is it?
No, it's always a tough one.
And what you thinking on that? Matlock, roundabout similar sort of form to the Borough.
Level on points, and we've got our games in hand, I think. On our current form, I've got to fancy us. Confidence is high. Brought another couple of new players in. Ability around the squad, which is really good. Application's always a difference, isn't it?
Now I saw that bringing a couple of players in. They played a Integro League Cup match in the midweek at Sutton Coldfield Town. Won on penalties.
Yeah.
Neil Kitchen made a lot of changes, and some of these new faces made their first appearance, I believe.
Yeah, and Noel Flint played on the right-hand side. He looked very threatening early on.
Where's he come from?
He's come from Matlock.
Quick return then.
Yeah, and Alex Fletcher played in the middle of the park. He's been around a few clubs and he's been released by Southport.
And Taylor Allen as well.
Taylor's a young lad that's come through our youth team. So
I've also seen him this season play for Stafford Town.
Right,
They look very, very good playing for Town. He scored 2 goals in 7 games, I think, for Town.
But he looked okay when he came on as a sub. Quite comfortable for a youngster.
Now, one club that tends to upset people here when you mention the name is Shore Lane.
Yeah,
You can't ignore what Shore Lane are doing. Top of the table.
No.
Making a real good fist of moving up.
Well, we've got a bit of history, haven't we? We went head to head a few seasons ago when we got promoted and they didn't, and they were up there, and then they were up there the season after. They've joined us, and they're doing it again. You know, they invest in the team rather than maybe the infrastructure, but talking to people, they are looking at the things behind the scenes now. So.
And Rangers have visited Shore Lane not long. Well, they visited where Shore Lane are playing now. Where are they playing now? Because they've been a bit nomadic, haven't they? This is.
Yeah. They're now playing at Athersley Recreation, which is just a few miles down the road from Shore Lane.
Right.
They've taken the big metal structures for the temporary seating. They've taken those, and they're looking at getting planning permission, so they'll actually upgrade the ground that they're playing in. And whereas the other pitch was cut into the side of a hill, and it was a 3-sided pitch, this is 4-sided. I think there'll be more room for development, so they could be there a while.
And in terms of what you've seen in the Evistic Premier this season, Shore Lane have got to be in a strong position to potentially, either promotion in their own right or via the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who else you'd be thinking? Altrincham as well. They had that disappoint. Well, I mean, Rangers didn't see the best of Alty because they beat them on the opening day of the season.
Yes,
but they seem to have bounced back since. And anyone else that stood out as?
Well, I missed the trip to Warrington due to being away.
Really?
But they're up there. Yeah, it's rare I go away anywhere, but I did. They're looking all right on form, so they'll be a threat. You know, they've invested a bit in the team. Altrincham, like you say, they've started slowly and they've really picked up. Shore Lane, they've got to be there or thereabouts.
Buxton?
Stourbridge are going up through the pack. And one big surprise was the Stalybridge start to the season, and they were shocking. And something's happened there, and they've gone from bottom to 19th in about a month.
Steve Burr.
Steve Burr's still there. Yeah.
A legend of this parish.
Exactly, and Steve will always put them right. And I think they'll be challenging somewhere abouts, even after the bad start. Don't write us off. You know,
that's what I wanted to hear.
We're 6 points off.
I didn't even prompt him, folks.
Yeah, we're 6 points off the top 6. We've got games in hand and a bit of momentum. So never say never.
And again, the management team here. I've dealt with so many managers at this place, as you know. And Neil and Nick, he's got a good team around him. He knows what he wants. He knows the football he wants to play. Yeah. And I think that's a huge step.
Fantastic coaches, great people, easy to talk to. a spade, you know, and you'll always get an honest answer off them.
Well, I found
good, bad, or indifferent.
Well, yeah. I found that dealing with both Neil and Nick as a member of the press. I've interviewed Neil on so many occasions, and what you get is brutal honesty. And yes, we've disagreed on numerous occasions, but at least it tells it as it is. While I've got Alan here, I want to talk about the Everstick South. Couple of games I've picked out. Belper Town against Alvechurch. It's a rerun of the FA Trophy game which Church won a couple of weeks back. Chasetown at home to Newcastle promises to be a really interesting one. And at the top end of the table, Baseford United against Bedworth United. Baseford having a great run. You'll have seen a few of the Everstick South sides. Obviously these are sides that Rangers have played for some time. Any thoughts coming through about how the sort of sides that are doing well there? Chasetown with another former Borough man in charge in Scotty Dundas.
Yeah.
Not really having it all their own way, but I think he's had to build a complete new side. Then other local sides, the likes of Leek, Newcastle, Kidsgrove. There's lots of local sides to hear.
Definitely.
And none of them really seem to be pushing as much as you'd expect towards the top.
No. I'm not surprised to see Baseford near the top. I talked earlier about infrastructure and investment, and they've got the 3G pitch, and they're trying to make a lot of improvements and bring the community in. So they're looking at long-term things as well as today. Your local sides, Chasetown. Scott will always try and play football the right way, and he'll bring the best out of some of the youngsters. George Cater's gone there. By all accounts, he's very happy with his football, doing a good job. So crack on, don't you? Well,
that was a bit of a surprise to me because Cater had done well in his short time here. He then went on to Hensford. And left Hensford. I genuinely believe he probably should be playing at a higher level than Chasetown, because he came here from Kidderminster Harriers. Yeah. So you would have thought that George. Well, we know George can play at a higher level, but again, I think it's part of the challenge is you want to be happy playing the football that you're playing, and if he's happy playing there, then good luck to him. Really,
I think you can apply it to a number of young players that they'll drop a level, and they'll rebuild and they'll come back stronger. Maybe that'll happen.
Well, Al, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
All the best for sorting out the shed end.
Yeah.
I know you'll get there.
We will.
And I will be back. I'm not sure I'll be sat in the press box doing my commentary anymore, but it's midweek trips to some far-flung places are probably the ones I don't miss anymore.
Yeah.
But I do miss some of those, some of the days. But thanks again, and all the best with it.
Yeah.
Back to this weekend and on to the Total Motion Midland Football League Premier Division. Only 2 games because of the FA VARs, but I'll tell you what, you try and choose out of these 2. Coleshill at home to Sporting Calcer. Calcer, 10 games unbeaten. I saw them winning midweek. They beat Heath Hayes in the Staffordshire Senior Cup after making 7 changes. Carl Brady scored twice, but he should have had 4 or 5 by half time. Heath Hayes played some cracking football, but Carl, how did you miss from a yard? I just don't know. And the other game, Shepshed Dynamo against Bromsgrove Sporting. If results go the right way for Sporting, they could be top of the table on Saturday evening. If either of those games are half as entertaining as the game at the Butts Park Arena last Saturday, we're in for a treat. Coventry United took on Shawbury United. Here are the extended highlights from Coventry United TV.
Controlled by Wins, ranking space out wide for Dave Money. Money crossing over Tudy, will try and cut in, tries to get past Evans. Blocked up by the fullback across the face of goal, bounces off the leg of Aaron Wins at the near post. And Coventry United remain goalless, but they have had the better of the opening proceedings here at the Butts Park Arena. And it's up rather than out by the Shawbury defender, down to earth by Cullen. Long pass forward, looking for the run of Ross Jones. Jones will give chase. Cullen's in the centre. Jones goes over line, and a great stop with the foot of Scott Dusson. And to stretch that boot out and block the ball. And Scott Dunn making an immediate impression on his red and green's debut. James cuts in towards the left-hand side. Gray's cross. Apoku back heel. Just wide at the far post, inches away. Those are the margins in this game. Rankin towards Cox. Cox's header just wide. Brushes the side netting on the way out. Well, Chris Cox leaping like a salmon, like only he can. Up rather than out by Chris Cox. Overhead hit by Foe. Oh, that was pretty close. A couple of inches wide of that top corner. That would have been a spectacular way to give the advantage to Shawbury. And the long ball game doesn't seem to be working for Coventry United. But it's Ben Cullen racing towards goal, straight to the crossbar. Nothing Dutton could do about that one. He was hoping and praying that it wouldn't penetrate his goal, and luckily for United it didn't. What a wonderful ball to find Cullen, who was able to get past the last defender who's onside, beat the offside trap, but he couldn't put it into the net. Rankin turns in towards Aaron Apoku. Apoku's header goes to Aaron Wint, blocks, Molly, and it goes over the line via the leg of the Shawbury defender. Dave Molly will be attributed with the goal.
Dave Molly.
Apoku went for it, couldn't find the net. Aaron Wint went for it, blocked by the leg of a Shawbury defender. But there was Dave Molly in a perfect position to open the scoring in the Butts Park Arena. Rankin nods it forward only as far as the chest of Evans. Molly makes the interception and takes it around Jones beautifully. Jordan Jones could do nothing about that. And he's got past him again. It's Dave Molly all the way. Apoku! Alan Grady makes it two! A second goal in a minute! After an insatiable run from Dave Molly, there was no stopping him. And Josh O'Grady doubles the advantage.
And the second goal of the afternoon, and Josh O'Grady, Coventry United, go well.
Well, could this have been a better 60 seconds for the Red and Greens? Dave Molly puts the ball away into the net by the leg of the defender to make it 1-0. And virtually straight from the kickoff, darts down the right-hand side, makes Jordan Jones look invisible in the Shawbury defence, lays it off, Josh O'Grady, pow, straight into the net, 2-0 Coventry United, and the game seems to be red and green. Beddoes, long-range ball towards Rob Jones. Ross Jones sent it over the crossbar. And I think Dutton may well have got a hand to that. Rankin forward to Aaron Apoku. This is a good move from Coventry United. Apoku racing down the right wing. Cuts in, really trying himself, lays it off for Lewis. Rankin flicks it up, takes it around the defender. Lewis Rankin charged down by the defender. Rankin for the second time off the post. Apoku side netting. Relentless Coventry United. They want to make goals they can get. And Lewis Rankin almost cracking the woodwork. Swansea now 2-0 up at home to Huddersfield, and Spurs leading 1-0 at home to Bournemouth. Heading to danger, and Cullen nods it home. The throw-in nodded on, and Cullen heads it through the hands of Dutton.
And a goal for Shawbury United, Ben Cullen.
And Ben Cullen halves the deficit and gives Shawbury United some hope. 35 minutes left, and this game is far from over. O'Grady dribbles his way into the area, push from behind, surely going to be a penalty, and the referee gives it. And just like that, within 20 seconds of the restart, Coventry United have the chance to restore their 2-goal advantage. Well, that's how quickly things can change in football. The second that Shawbury are given a glimmer of hope of getting back into this, it may well be torn away by Aaron Apoku, or Chris Cox is not going to take this one. It's going to be Aaron Apoku. Cox is the usual set-piece taker. He's shied away from penalties recently. Tommy Glasgow is usually second in command. He's not in the side over, so it will be Aaron Apoku. It's saved! Palmed away from Havard, who who guessed right. A poke he went to Havard's left, so his right I should say. And the goalkeeper able to make a pretty comfortable save. Ross Jones turns Rankin beautifully and races forward. Cuff. Options towards the penalty area. Cullen, oh, heads it over the crossbar, and that was a golden opportunity to make it 2-2, and Cullen couldn't take it. Ball for Foe, fired away on the edge of the area by Chris Cox, with falls to Jeff Watkins. Across to Sean Evans at left back. Shawbury certainly not done yet with 25 minutes still to go. Evans, oh, what a goal! Pick that one out, says Sean Evans. An incredible long range strike from the skipper. How about that from a left back? And Coventry United, who looked so comfortable at half time, have been pegged back to 2-2. Brad Jones, Rankin. You know, I've got to find their rhythm, the rhythm that got them into a 2-0 lead in the first half. Ball into the area, will go towards the touchline, just about kept in by Hartlebury. Rankin wins it back, penalty! Lewis Rankin trips as he tries to win the ball back on the right side of the area, and the referee for the second time awards a spot kick. Well, in fact, it looks like it's going to be Mitch Piggin. Craig Reed has left it for Mitch Piggin to take. Well, Piggin scored on his first start for nearly 2 months on Tuesday against Leicester Road. Kenny Mark is returned to the Butts Park Arena with a penalty to send Coventry United back into the league. What else you expect from Mitch Piggin? Rolls it past Havard, and Coventry United are back in front. A poor pass by Shawbury and picked up in the centre circle by Josh O'Grady. Space out wide for Craig Reed. Cheeky pass to Reed. Pass to the defender, Craig Reed. That's a stunning save by Ian Havard. It's been a while since we've seen Craig Reed score. That was probably the best chance he had to stop this goalless run. And you can't really blame Reed for that. It was a great save by Havard. Could be last chance saloon for Shawbury United. Foe turns Prinzel, lobs it into the area. Oh, and it's gone all the way through. It's gone all the way through by Steve Foe. And with the last attack of the game, Coventry United have thrown it away. Well, you tell me, how on earth did that ball go all the way through and nestle itself in the bottom corner? I don't think United know themselves. But the resiliency of Shawbury United is incredible. They've been down and out twice in this match, and they've come up both times. First to equalise at 2-2, now at 3-3. And you can hear the Shawbury manager saying, now can we find the winner? Well, the way this game's going, you wouldn't bet against it. Wint, and the referee brings proceedings to a halt. And just when Coventry United started to look comfortable, he started to believe the 3 points were in the bag, Shawbury with a shock equaliser steal a point for themselves. A thrilling game and a thrilling finale. And it's a point apiece at the Butts Park Arena. The final score, Coventry United 3, Shawbury United 3.
Into Division 1 of the Midland Football League. And again, a lot of teams involved in the FA Vars. Leaders Studley are at home to Bowlhall Swifts. It's a game you would expect Studley to win at the Beehive in great form. If you want to see goals, guess who I'm going to mention? Heath Hayes again. They're at home to Paget Rangers. Both sides play some cracking attacking football. Paget entertained Coventry Copsewood on Monday night in all that wind, storm, wherever her name was, Ophelia, Ethel. It was windy. Game took place at the Trevor Brown Memorial Ground. Here are the highlights, courtesy of Mark Brooks.
Oh, comes to Danny Carter. He's onside. Oh, it's a good opportunity. He should have scored. Here's Norris. Williams. Cullen. Norris again. Mark Williams. Here's Miles. Norris again. Miles. Oh, it's a good effort. Oh, what a goal! Young Miles Phillips. An absolute magnificent effort. And Patrick take the lead.
Scored by number 9, Miles Phillips.
Yes, and there's Tannoy Tom doing what Tannoy Tom does best. Here's Dodds. It's a nice little ball out wide. Back to Dodds again. Oh, good feet. Right foot shot. Oh, it's just wide. It's a super effort from Dodds. Still going. Oh, good effort. Oh, good save. And so is it 1-1 or is it offside? Oh, it's offside. Away. Copswood now. Oh, and they've equalised. And it's a good finish. It's now 1-1. Thrown to Copswood. Oh, ball's loose. Oh, Benton has to tip it over. And here's Miles. Oh, Miles is in.
Come on, finish.
Go on. Oh, it's a good effort. Oh, it's hit the roof of the net. And Miles Phillips unlucky.
Only a couple of games in Division 2 of the Midland Football League. The standout game is at Newmill Lane. It's Coton Green against Montpellier. And as you look at the league table for Division 3 of the Midland Football League, I can tell you there isn't a game in the division this weekend. Most sides are in Birmingham Vars action. I think FC Stratford are at Inkbarrow in the Challenge Vars. So there'll be more about those games next week. If it's goals you want, have a look at the reserves and under-21 division of the Midland Football League. Last weekend, Bedworth United took on Atherstone Town in the under-21 division. Sit back and enjoy 13 goals.
Oh, it's a great ball and it's Matt. Can he finish? Oh, it's a good save from the keeper. It's a great save. Oh, great save from Jack. Get a shot away. Good save from Jack. And Bedworth still there though. Oh, it's a penalty. Okay, it's a penalty to Bedworth. And they take the lead. Yes, it's 1-0. Oh, it's a lovely ball to the other Charlie. And can he, oh, he just couldn't finish. It's a corner. Cross comes in, good chest down, and oh, what a save from Jack. Outstanding. That's a nice ball down the line to Charlie. Here's Matt. Good effort. Oh, he's hit the post. Can he put it? Oh, no. Oh, you're joking. Oh, dear. Nice ball down the line. Oh, he's kept it in. And it's 2-0. Well, it's a nice finish. And Bedworth now. It's a decent effort and a good goal, and it's 3-0 to Bedworth. Oh, Matty's done brilliantly there. What a back heel. It's Ganty. Oh, good save. And it's a corner. Oh, comes to the edge. And it's a great goal. It's 4-0. It's a lovely finish from the 7 again. And it's got to be a bit tighter at the back. Ball played through. Oh, he's got round him. And 5. Yeah, straight from Adder's corner. and nice counter-attack move from Bedworth. 6. It's a nice Bedworth move again, but Adder's losing possession too easily. It's a nice looking ball to Ellis, but oh, he's missed it, Charlie. Oh, what a good finish. And it's now 6-1. How does he got their goal? Fair play to him, keep going. It's it's an hat-trick, this lad. Oh, he's done well, he's kept it in. Crossed it. Oh, and it's 7-1. Well, that number 7's been running the show for Bedworth. And well, my man of the match, the number 7. Oh dear, he's on that trick. Oh, it's 8-1. And well, the lad deserves it, in fairness. Absolute quality player. Oh, what a touch. Absolutely superb. And oh, nice. Can he finish? Oh, it's a great finish. It's a great goal. And it's 9-1. And Bedworth, a good side. Avoid conceding the double figures. Back, oh, that's a good ball. It's a good goal. And they don't manage it. It's now 10-1. Lovely ball floated towards the back post. Good finish. Back post. Oh, it's 11. It's a great goal. 11-1. And now Bedworth break. Oh, well done, Jack. Oh no, it's in. It's, I don't know if it's 12 now. 12-1.
Into the West Midland Regional League now, and again cut down fixture list because of the FA Vars. One standout game in the Premier Division, and if you're looking for a game, this is the one I'd choose. It's Ellesmere Rangers against Black Country Rangers, 3rd against 5th. Ellesmere on a good run of form, a long way to go to catch the leaders. They're in the top 2. Tividale looking strong in 2nd place as well, but Ellesmere in 3rd against Black Country Rangers in 5th. In Division 1, the West Midland Regional League, the game I've picked out there is in Shropshire. It's Newport Town against the new leaders, Worcester Raiders. Team Dudley losing last week, it meant that Worcester Raiders have taken over top spot. Newport in good form themselves. They beat Allscott in the Shropshire Derby, so they will fancy their chances at home. In Division 3 of the West Midland Regional League, one game. Again, I'm going to pick out Seek Hunters. Didn't play in the league last week. They had a cup game. They're top. They're unbeaten. And they're at home to AFC Bilbrook, who've had a couple of decent results lately. You'd expect Seek Hunters to win that one. But this is football. And if it's half as wet as it is today, heaven only knows what can happen. One game I've picked out in the East Midland counties, and it's Gary being a little bit obtuse. I've gone down to the bottom of the table where Radcliffe or Linkpick take on Ashby Ivanhoe. 2 sides in the bottom 3. It's important for either of them to win that one. So that's the East Midlands Counties League. Come to the end of another show. Going forward, a couple of changes. We will be looking to concentrate more on the Midland Football League and the West Midland Regional League. It's not that we're not going to show highlights from the Everstick League. We still are. But the Everstick League have their own programme, and we want to give coverage to Step 5, 6 and below. Also, I touched on it last week. As of this month, there will be a Goal of the Month and a Save of the Month competition, kindly sponsored by Sports Jam. All I'm doing is encouraging you to get your goals in, get your saves in, a clip of the actual goal, so if you can edit it, all well and good. We will be doing a competition for October, so the first show in November we will have 10 goals, hopefully, for you to choose from, and then the winning goal, there will be a prize for the goal scorer and likewise for the goalkeeper that made the save. We've seen some stunners already. I'm going to finish the show very, very differently today, and if you've got any complaints, don't complain to me. There was a goal scored at Paget Rangers on Monday. You have never seen a goal scored quite like this. Mark Brooks, you are a legend. Until next week, ta-ra.
The score for Paget's Miles, oh Miles. The score for Paget's Miles, oh Miles. The score for Paget's Miles, oh Miles, oh.